All right, the reading for this week is called Changing Gears. And there's a little vocab word in here that I'll explain before I do the reading. It's called Vairagya, which is freedom of color. But the idea there is that it is without veils or without the filters of the mind. So allowing ourselves to see beyond the colors that we create with our own mind. So that's Vairagya. It's called Changing Gears. I'm reading from Meditations on Intention and Being. For me, one of the most difficult contracted states is feeling like I am not enough. The premise of this state is that I am using yoga to be someone else because I am wrong the way that I am. Too much this and too little that. And that if I can just get this yoga thing right, I will be a better person, a better husband, a better father. This state suggests that the person I need to be is not here yet. The wanting and striving I experience in this state makes any sort of intimacy with the present moment all but impossible. Once I understood the practice of Vairagya, I began to practice not reacting to my reactions. I began to take life a lot less personally. In particular, I started to take being me less personally. As I did so, the contracted state of feeling like I am not enough began to seem less and less relevant. I began to practice being the sky that holds the weather. If the weather of anger is present, I am learning to hold anger with wisdom and compassion. If the weather of desire is present, I'm learning to hold desire with wisdom and compassion. We are like a sky holding weather, not a sky fixing the fact of weather. The person I need to be is here now, like a gear that I can shift into. I just need a little time and a little space to find that gear. The practice of Vairagya creates the time and space to do so. So as you move through your practice and you start to become aware of anything that bubbles up, allow yourself to practice from a place of observation, acknowledging what's there without trying to fix it or control it, just breathing into it and allowing it to come and to go. Bring the awareness to the backside of the body, noticing all the places that you are making contact with the earth. Maybe if you have the knees bent, all the places that you are not making contact with the earth. You can set an intention for your practice, one little word that invites you back anytime you notice that you're moseying off. Bring yourself back, one little word. Could be flexibility, could be presence, could be breath, whatever you need. Repeat it to yourself. And then we'll slowly stretch the legs out, stretch the arms out long. We'll bring the hands together overhead, interlace the fingers, and turn the palms away from the head. Push and reach. Point the toes. Maybe let out a big sigh or yawn. Take up the space. And then we'll hug everything in, knees into the chest. You can cross the ankles if you like to, and start to trace little circles on the ceiling, rolling around. Big circles are going to get into that outer hip. If you make tiny little circles, you can massage the sacrum and the lower back. So mix yourself a little cocktail of movement that makes sense to you. Remember to go both directions. That's the joy of our yoga practice, being able to even out our preferences. And we'll plant the soles of the feet down. Walk the feet a little wider than your yoga mat. If you're not on a mat this morning, that's totally fine. Just look down and make sure that you see your heels on the outsides of your knees. We'll drop the knees to the right. Left arm's going to reach overhead. Big inhale, reach long through those fingertips from the bottom ribs up through the fingers, and then from the bottom ribs down along that left thigh through the knee across the room. We don't want to push the knee down to the floor. We want to reach through it. Then we'll exhale back to the center and inhale over the other side. Knees go to the left, right arm comes up. Same intention and effort, finding length all the way down the side. And then once you get into a rhythm, move at your own pace. Just awakening the spine, nice and easy. Inhaling to stretch, perhaps exhaling to switch sides. Inhaling to reach. Gentle and easy, let the head move without forcing it, just allowing it to roll from side to side. And we'll come back to the center, heel toe the feet to the middle. Allow the soles of the feet to touch and the knees to open wide. I've been talking about this a lot. One of the things that happens when we open the legs like this is we get short-waisted. We didn't do it on purpose, but now that we know we do it, we're going to plant those elbows into the mat and walk the shoulders up the mat just a little bit. That small adjustment allows breath in the throat. Pick up the head, tuck the chin a little bit, arms come to rest at either side. Notice the natural state of this posture exactly as it is. This is a hard one to do. It's a passive posture, and we're not very good at being passive. So we're going to help ourselves out. We're going to add some oomph. Squeeze the soles of the feet together so much that the thighs spiral out, hugging the knees towards the earth. Press the shoulder blades into the mat. Reach through the arms, curl the hands into little fists, wrinkle the face, wrinkle the brows, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze it all together. Hold that energy until you can't do it anymore, and then let it go. It's a whole lot easier to surrender now that we got out of our own way. And then ask yourself how your shoulders feel. You might find a different arm position that feels nice. You could take cactus arms, bending at the elbows, point the fingertips towards the crown of the head. You can bring a hand to the heart, hand to the belly, or anything else. Allow it to be organic. Move your arms around until you find something that body says, oh yeah, that's it, that's what I want. And then stay there for a second. And we'll squeeze the thighs back together. Take any movement that you want to. If that's rocking the hips from side to side or hugging the knees back into the chest, that's great. Stretch the left leg out long. We'll hug the right knee into the chest. If you want a little bit more here, you can hover the left leg off of the earth, flex the foot, and reach across the room through it. So there's a lot of energetic movement here. Right leg, we can hug it into the belly or outside of the body towards that right armpit. Take a few pedals, pushing one leg out and hugging the other knee in. It's important that we leave the shoulders and the back of the head down on the mat. We don't want to curl the spine here. Actively reaching, and we'll meet with that right leg in towards the chest. Drop the left leg down, point and flex the right ankle. And then start to trace little circles as if you're wearing a sock, cleaning the inside of a little pipe here with that right foot. We don't want to miss any spots. Go as slow or as quick as you need to go. And then change direction, clean the other way. See if there's a difference. Is there a spot that you're missing? Maybe yes, maybe no. As we inhale, straighten the right leg up high to the sky, point and flex. As we exhale, hug it into the belly. If you want to use the arms to squeeze it in a little bit, you can. Inhale, up high, reach through the back of the leg up to the sky. Exhale to squeeze it in. Take one or two more. Trying to awaken the muscles in the leg. And we'll meet with the right leg up high to the sky. Check in with the right hip. Is it hugging up towards your shoulder? And it might be. If it is, we're going to take the right hand. Imagine that you're putting your right hand in a little mitten. We're going to put the fingers and the thumb together. Dial the fingers down towards the earth and grab a hold of the outside of your right hip and roll it towards the end of the mat, towards the feet. When you do that, your right toes are going to wing out to the side. That's how we know we got it. So we're going to take the right toes and we're going to dial them back towards the nose. This is where we want to be, long-waisted on both sides. Slowly inhale, soften the right knee into the chest. As we exhale, lift and reach from the right hip up through the right heel, pull the toes towards the nose, reach, 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 maybe even press the left heel into the earth. Take a few breaths, just pulsing and softening. It's really important that we allow ourselves the opportunity to regroup and to rest. It's not all go, 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 go. It's pushing and then relaxing so you have more and regrouping. And we'll meet with the right leg up high to the sky. Walk the foot across the body, but not past your left shoulder. That right hip has to stay down on the floor. And everybody's built a little bit differently, but we're still not going to be very far. The leg is up and just slightly over to the left. Push through the heel, try to straighten the leg to the best of your ability, but don't lock the knee. We'll come back to the center, 2 heel touches, 1 if you only want to do. Hug the pit of the belly in and up and slowly descend the right heel down until it comes next to the left leg, touch the earth and come back up. 1 more if you choose to do it. It's always your practice. Decide what you want, make it more yours than mine. And we'll take it into a little reclined pigeon. So left foot, we're gonna bend that left knee, plant the left foot on the mat, right ankle over the left thigh, open the knee out to the side. We did that short-waisted thing again. So elbows plant into the mat, walk the shoulders up the mat a little bit to find some ease. Lift the left knee into the chest. Lift the left toes, flex that foot enough that you can see the left toes over the left knee, all in line on the left side of the body. Hands can come behind the left thigh or over to the right thigh, either one that you want. As we inhale, we're gonna squeeze the left knee into the chest. As we exhale, we're gonna try to roll the right knee out to the side. You can add a little more engagement here by hugging the pit of the belly in and up and scooping the tailbone towards that left heel. Pay attention to the engagement. When you add that belly intensity here, we can really flatten the lower back to the mat, and we know we're really solidly stretching everything with a place of support. Imagine, same way we did with cobbler's pose before, we're thinking about that right knee and right thigh rotating out to the side to open up a little bit. Is there something you invited to the party that doesn't have to come? Are you clenching the jaw? Is the chin jutting up to the sky? Can you tuck it back a little bit? One more breath here. And we'll plant the left foot down on the mat. Slow and easy, we're gonna roll the right foot over to the left side of the body. So just lower that foot down, gentle twist. It's not even a full twist. We're gonna take the right arm overhead, reach long, dial the thumb towards the earth a little bit. And come back to center. Reset. You can take any movement you want to before we switch over to the other side. Maybe some little windshield wipers with the knees, anything else. Stretch the right leg out, hug that left knee in. Same option here, you can flex the right foot, lift the right leg off the mat just a little bit and reach through it while we hug the left knee into the chest and point and flex the left foot. And we'll roll that left ankle around, trying to clean the little pipe here, making sure that we make circles in both directions. And there are probably some Rice Krispies and some little noises here. That's great. Morning's the best time to do all this. All the joints are lubricated, all the fluids been sent back out to the body, and even distribution. So it's a good time to do these movements. Let the right leg come down. Inhale, stretch the left leg up high to the sky, point and flex. Exhale, we'll squeeze it into the chest or out towards that left armpit, either one. One or two more, moving at your own pace. And we'll meet with the left leg up high to the sky. Lift through the heel, pull the toes towards the nose, and pay attention to the left side waist. Right side waist is super long and lengthy because the leg is out. Left hip may have hiked up to our shoulder. So our left hand, we're going to imagine we're putting it in a little mitten, dial the fingers down to the earth, grab hold of the outside of the hip, roll it away. The toes are going to wing out to the left when you do that. So take the toes, dial them towards the nose, and imagine like a little puppet master that you have toes, the little strings on the toes. We're going to pull the toes back towards the face. Inhale, soften the left knee into the chest. Exhale, lift and reach from the hip up through the heel, actively pulling the toes towards the nose. Two more little breaths. Move at your own pace. Don't forget to allow yourself a rest. And we'll straighten the left leg up high to the sky and walk the foot across the body, but not past that right shoulder. Just reaching, trying to straighten the leg to the best of your ability, dialing the toes towards the nose, pushing through the back of the leg, keeping the left heel, the left hip down. You could press into the right heel for a little counterbalance if you want to. I'll bring the leg back to center, hug the pit of the belly in and up, and slowly lower the left heel down next to the right. And then pull it back up using the tummy. One more if you choose to do it. You may decide one is enough for you this morning, and that is perfectly fine. Now we're going to bend the right knee, plant the right foot on the mat. Left ankle comes to the right thigh. Open the left knee out to the side. Plant the elbows next to the body. Walk the shoulders up just a tiny bit. Lift the head, tuck the chin, reset the torso. And then when you're ready, hug the pit of the belly in and up. Lift that right knee into the chest. The hands can either come behind the right thigh or they can come to the left thigh. As we inhale, hug that right thigh in. As we exhale, imagine rolling the left thigh out. So if your hands are not behind the right thigh and you have them over on the left thigh, right hand would come to the inner thigh, left hand comes to the outer thigh. So as we inhale and hug the right knee in, as we exhale, we're going to push the left hand out and pull the right hand towards us. It's the equivalent of rotating that left thigh a little bit to make space in the knee joint. Flex both of the feet, double check that you can see the right toes over the right knee on the right side of the body. If we're not paying attention, sometimes that right knee drifts in towards the belly button, and we don't want that. Hug the pit of the belly in and up, scoop the tailbone towards that right knee, add that last little bit of engagement. And then ask yourself if you're clenching your jaw or if you plastered your tongue to the top of your mouth. And if you did, it's okay. There's no judgment there. It's a sign of concentration, trying to hold it all together. So just trust that you've got all the pieces and soften the tongue, let it hang out in the bottom of the mouth. We'll plant the right foot back down, same gentle twist on this side. We're going to take that left foot and just put it down on the right side of the body. Left arm comes overhead, reach long. You could dial the thumb towards the earth a little bit. Imagine that there's something just beyond the edge of the mat that you could reach, really opening the space all the way on the left side of the body. And when you're ready, we'll roll back to the center. Plant the feet, rock a little bit from side to side. And we'll roll all the way to one side, tuck the chin, plant the hands into the mat, press yourself all the way up into a seated shape. And when you get there, if you have a yoga blanket or something else that you want to sit on top of, you're welcome to. If you don't have yoga props, a couch cushion, a bed pillow, a folded sweatshirt, whatever you've got works just fine. All right, we're going to bring the right leg up above or below the knee. We don't want to be on top of our kneecap. We're going to bring that in, flex both feet. Left hand, we're going to interlace the fingers all the way down between the toes. So the webbing of the hands comes all the way down to the webbing of the toes. And you notice I really had to like lean over to look here and make that happen. It's totally fine. If you are not someone who likes to touch your feet, I'm sorry. This is good for you. Once you've got it, sit up nice and tall, ground down through the left heel, hug the pit of the belly in and up, roll the shoulders down and back. We're just gonna work on this ankle. We're gonna hug the toes towards the body and then push the toes away. Then hug the toes in and push the toes away. You can do that a couple times. And then I like to take my right hand and put it on my ankle just so I can remind myself that my leg is not in charge. My left hand is in charge. We're gonna roll the ankle around just like we did before, but the leg should be like jello. It's the arm that's doing all the work here. Take the circle in the other direction. And as we approach summer, this is where we're gonna pretend that we're walking on the beach. So with our left hand, subtly dial the palm up towards your face. Now it's not gonna be a full twist, but we're just gonna slightly tilt it up and then slightly turn the palm down. And you'll notice that it's tilting the foot a little bit. That's good. We wanna have that opportunity for the foot to imagine that it's walking on the sand. This is the last part, the most important and the least fun. Take your hand, squeeze down on the foot, but also squeeze the fingers together. So we're really putting a lot of intense awareness between the toes. We're gonna take the other hand and wrap it up because this little pinky toe down here has no love. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Sit up nice and tall. Try and take an easy breath here. We are gonna allow a whole flood of fresh blood to come down to that foot and provide more awareness in our feet. So gently let go. Let it go, wiggle it out. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So left leg comes out, right leg comes out, left leg comes in, above or below the knee. And if it's hard for you to get this foot above the knee, you can always take a little block or something to support underneath to create a bend so that that leg naturally comes closer. Right hand, interlace all the way down. Push, push, push till you get the fingers all the way down. Once you get that all settled, then we focus on the alignment. Sit up tall, roll the shoulders down and back, ground down through the right heel, and start to point the toes, pull them towards you, and then push the toes away. Pointing and flexing. Anytime you're ready, start to roll the ankle around in little circles, but try not to let the leg be the boss. You want it to be really heavy little jello so you can roll it around. Having strong, stable feet is a really important part of our foundation and our posture as we walk throughout the day. Same little altering tilt. We're going to tilt the palm up towards the face and then gently turn the palm down. You're not going to have a full rotation here, and you don't need a lot for your feet to say, yes, yes, I hear you. That's good. Thank you. You can stop. And then your favorite part, squeeze down and between the knuckles. And then take the other hand and wrap it up. Remind yourself about everything else. Sit up tall, ground down through the heel, maybe wiggle your toes and wave at me, perhaps grimace at me. It's really a smile. It's just there's a lot going on there. You're not alone. All right, and anytime you're ready, let it go. This is a good one to do, especially now that our feet are back in flip-flops and enjoying all the weather. All right, we'll bring any kind of variation of your crisscross applesauce. Hug the knees in a little bit. Adjust so you can grab hold of the flesh and root down. We'll sweep the arms all the way up. Climb your little imaginary rope ladder, reaching from side to side. As we reach, make sure that we stay grounded through the hips. We're just trying to open the side body, reaching long. Now we'll turn the hands down, let them float all the way down. Left hand's going to snug in nice and close to the body. Right arm lifts, we'll lift and tip. Push the bottom hand into the mat so you feel the ribs and that energy pushing across. If you can, stack the wrist and the elbow and the shoulder all on top of each other, directly over that shoulder. We don't want it behind the body. If that's uncomfortable, you can bring it in front of the body. That's okay. And then bend at the elbow, add that extra little bit of movement. Maybe see if that awakens anything. Find softness in the throat, look down or up. Then hug the pit of the belly in and up. We're going to sweep both arms up, over to the other side. Right arm snugs in, left arm lifts. Inhale to reach, exhale to tip. Push the bottom hand into the mat. Find ease in the neck. And then bend that top little elbow. We'll hug everything back to center. Turn the palms away. Let them float all the way down. We're going to change the crisscross of our knees here. So pick the knees up, switch the feet, and let them come back down. When you get there, same thing. Adjust if you need to. Move it around. Call it good. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to stack the shoulders over the hips. Pay attention to how you're sitting. If you need to, you may need to subtly scoop the tailbone towards your heels a little bit. Whatever you need to do to feel supported. Hands are going to rest in the lap. We're going to sit up tall. Left hand, actually, we're going to take it off to the side, flip the palm up and rest it on the mat. The reason we have it up is just to open the shoulder. So we're going to rest it there. Drop the left ear over in the direction of that left shoulder. As we inhale, we're going to sit up nice and tall, reach through that top ear up towards the sky. And as we exhale, sweep the right arm out to the side, thumb up to the sky, reaching away. So there's a lot of energy as we lift up through that top ear to be tall. And as we reach away from the body through those fingertips, with your right arm, you can sweep it out in front. You can sweep it behind. If you go behind, pay attention to that lower back. We don't want to strain in the lower back. You can also sweep it down towards the knees. That may feel really nice. Or you can leave it level with the shoulder. But close the eyes, moving with the breath. We're trying to get that energy all the way up. You should feel tingling perhaps, all the way up the right shoulder, even up into the side of the neck and the ear. If your shoulder gets tired, you can put your arm down and rest for a second. Or you can flip the palm up to the sky, roll the shoulder down and back, and then dial that thumb back up to the sky. And gently lower that right arm down, lift the head back to center. Pause for a second. What do you feel? Can you feel a difference in one shoulder? And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Right hand's going to come down, flip the palm up and set it somewhere off to the side. Inhale, reach tall through the crown of the head and slowly lower the right ear down towards the right shoulder. And as we exhale, we're going to extend the left arm out to the side, thumb up to the sky. Use it as that call and response. Try something, give yourself permission to change the angle of the arm. Pay attention to the shoulders and the support for the lower back. Hug the pit of the belly in and up. Using the inhale to lift and lengthen that top ear up to the sky, and using the exhale to reach away from the body through those left little fingers. You can wiggle them, you cannot. Anytime the shoulder fatigues, flip the left palm up to the sky, soften it down, then dial the thumb back up and continue reaching away. Slowly let the hand come down. Bring the head back up. We're going to shake our hands out. Come into any seated shape that makes sense for you. If you don't want to sit in crisscross applesauce anymore, you can come over and perhaps sit on top of the knees, or you can sit on your blanket. You can also sit with the knees, with the legs out, whatever makes sense for you. We're going to shake the arms out a little bit, swing them a little bit from side to side. All right, and we're going to take the right arm and reach it directly out in front. Fingers are up to the sky. Now we're going to be very gentle here, nothing with aggression. Left hand, I'm going to gently grab the tops of my fingertips and pull them a little bit towards me. As I do that, I'm going to imagine reaching along the bottom of my hand out through the bottom here as if I was little Spider-Man. I'm going to pew, pew, shoot little spider webs out. My sound effects are terrible. All right, now we're going to take the fingers and dial them down to the earth. This is where you'll really feel that Spider-Man. Same thing, we're trying to reach along the top and gently pull the fingertips in. And I say pull, but we're kind of pulsing, nothing aggressive. If you feel discomfort here, ease up a little bit. All right, we're going to take the hand and spin it back up. Now we're going to point the fingers down. Gently tug the tops of the fingers towards you, reaching along the top of the wrist here. Just nice and easy, nothing aggressive. All right, we're going to take the hand up, dial the thumb up to the sky, and then point the fingers to show the palm to yourself. So just a few times, palm out, palm up, palm out, palm up. All right, and then we'll shake it out, same thing on the other side. Left arm, we're gonna come up, and we can take the tops of the fingers and gently tug a little bit, pulsing. I'm just kind of pushing ever so slightly. I'm not holding it and pulling too hard, but you're welcome to tug a little bit and push along the bottom. And we'll take the fingers and rotate them down to the earth. Same thing, gently tug. And we'll take the fingers back up to the sky and then drop the fingers down to the earth. So now the palm is facing us, same thing. Pull a little bit towards yourself. And we'll take the palm back up. Fingers over to the side, so the thumb is up to the sky. And then flip it like a little pancake. Perfect, and we'll shake it out. All right, so a shoulder stabilizing exercise. I'm gonna scoot a little bit closer just so you can see. All right, we're gonna take the right arm. I'm gonna bend at the elbow and I'm gonna lift my elbow so that it is in line with my shoulder. I'm gonna take my thumb firmly up here. So if you are looking, it looks a little bit like a square. I've got a little box right here. I'm gonna be doing two things with my arm. As I have my arm lifted like this, sorry, my computer screen is trying to have me log into something. It's very strange. All right. So with this arm, I'm going to take my arm and imagine pushing it forward. So you can see that causes my shoulder to drop forward. I'm going to take my left hand and hold it so that as I'm pushing forward, I'm going to use my left hand to hold it in place. So I am pushing my right arm into my left and I'm pulling that left hand towards me. And if you do it with enough energy, you may feel a little bit of trembling in your arm. That lets you know you're doing it right. So everything's up nice and high. We're stabilizing that shoulder. Hug the pit of the belly in and up so we're nice and supported. And then gently let it go. You can even shake it out a little bit. It's deceptively challenging. Left arm, same thing. We make our little L, lift it up so it's in line with the shoulder. Strong hands here. Right hand's gonna come on that left wrist. Left elbow, we're gonna push forward. Right hand pulls back, and just take a look. Hug the pit of the belly in and up, sit up tall, gentle here, and then let it go. Shake it out. All right, we're gonna kick out the legs so we can meet in tabletop on our mat. Remember, if you need support for your knees, you can put a little blanket. If you need support for the wrists, remember you can do a couple things. You can put the blanket on the top, or you can take the top of your mat if you're on a mat and roll it up for the heels of the hands. So whatever you need to do here, just be mindful. But for my people, honoring your thumbs and your wrists, you're gonna wanna be gentle and light here. Don't add the extra weight. Excuse me. All right. Plant the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Slowly start to move through your little cat-cow here. We're gonna soften the belly towards the earth, roll the shoulders back, gaze out. As you exhale, we're gonna tuck the chin and scoop the tailbone towards the knees, flat back. So inhale to soften, gaze out, exhale to tuck the chin, scoop the tailbone. As you start to move with your own breath, you're going to notice that when you drop the belly down, the chin naturally starts to lift. And when you tuck the chin back, the tailbone starts to tuck. They're all connected. So allow it to happen with your breath. We'll meet in nice flat back, hug the pit of the belly in and up. When you're ready, right arm out in front, thumb up to the sky, left leg's gonna extend behind you, toes down to the earth. Keep an eye on that left hip. We want it to stay level with the right. Hug the pit of the belly in and up. Inhale to lift, reach in both directions, flex the foot like you're standing on the wall, gaze down at that left thumb, nice long back of the neck, and you can slowly lower down and inhale to lift and exhale to lower, or you can inhale and hold and exhale and hang out, whatever you choose to do. Slowly let everything come back down. We'll switch to the other side. Left hand out in front, thumb up to the sky, right toes out behind you. Touch those toes down to the earth. Level the hips out. Hug the pit of the belly in and up before you lift anything. Then lift and reach. Flex the foot. Reach in both directions. 2 or 3 times. Up to you. You can hold or you can move. We'll slowly come down. Knees open wide, big toes to touch, sink the hips back. If that was a lot on the wrists, you can roll them out here, or you can take your hands and flick them out, little rapid flickings. That sometimes helps with the wrists too. Now, another great option, if you happen to have your blocks nearby and you're looking for a little help with the triceps and the neck, we can plant the blocks next to the face, elbows come to the blocks, hands come together. We drop the head between the blocks. I'll turn sideways just so you can see, but my head comes right between those blocks. And it feels really nice, passive stretch here. Any child's pose variation that suits you this morning. Use it as an opportunity to breathe, to soften. You could take the hands and sweep them around towards the heels so the shoulders surrender to the earth. You can take hands together, like little prayer hands over the back of the neck. Give yourself 2 or 3 breaths here to be fully present, noticing where the breath goes. Is it being funneled into the back side of the body, into the side ribs? When you're ready, we'll sweep the arms out in front. Little spider fingers are going to come up tall, press the chest towards the earth, wrap the armpits towards the face, surrender the head. Push a little bit into the fingers so you feel the hips sinking back. Then we'll sweep the hands over to the left side. Same thing, spider fingers walk away. Lower the chest, lower the forehead, level the shoulders out with the earth, wrap the armpits towards the face. And that last little piece is to take the left hand and walk it a little bit past the right. We want to have long side waist on both sides of the body. If there is strain in the shoulders, remember it's always okay to take the elbows wide. That'll help a lot. We'll slowly come through center. And take it over to the other side, spider fingers to walk away from the body, surrender the forehead, level the shoulders out, wrap the armpits towards the face, push a little into the fingertips to help the hips sink back. And then squeak the right fingertips a little bit past the left. We'll slowly come back to center. Rise up into your little tabletop. Tuck the toes underneath, a little bit of tummy toning here. Hug the pit of the belly in and up. Scoop the tailbone towards your knees a little bit. That'll give you a little flat back. When you're ready, lift the knees off the mat a little bit. For anybody with wrist needs this morning, pause here. This is all you need to do. You can come down when you want to. For anybody looking to add more, push the hands towards the top of the mat and push the feet towards the bottom of the mat. A lot of energy. And then slowly come down. One or two more if you want to do it. Hug the pit of the belly in and up. Scoop the tailbone towards those knees. Lift the knees off the mat. Hang out and hover or push the hands and the toes. Last one if you want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, it's totally fine to take another child's pose or hang out. When you're ready, we'll meet in downward facing dog. So send the hips all the way up to the sky. Come up on the tippy toes. Deep bend in both knees, scoop the tailbone up to the sky, wrap the armpits towards the face, push the hands into the mat, and then slowly allow the heels to descend to wherever they meet. Imagine little roots growing out of the heels. It doesn't matter if the heels touch. Reaching through the heels towards the earth, pushing into the hands. Slow and easy, we'll walk hands and feet together and meet in a forward fold. When you get there, take a deep bend in both knees so the belly and the thighs touch. Drop the crown of the head towards the earth like we're looking at our belly button. It may be nice to grab opposite elbows and rock a little bit from side to side. Then we'll sink the hips really low so we can use our thighs and not our back. Hands come together out in front and we'll slowly rise up through chair. Take your time. And when you get there, you can all do the mandatory pant adjustment. I know I'm not the only one. Just shake it out. Ooh, I hit my wall. So remember, when you're swinging around and doing these empty coat sleeves, we make sure that we pivot. So we come up on one toe, we roll the hip forward, and then we swing the arm. So there's this whole chain reaction. When we swing the other way, toes come, the heel lifts and the toes stay down. So it's like you're in a batting cage. We'll come back to the center. If you have a little yoga block nearby or some textbooks, no glossy magazines, those will slip and slide. We're going to use one block just to help when we do our postures, our balance postures here. One of the things we like to be careful about is driving weight and stacking weight through our hips. So it's not like the traditional hot potato yoga props that we don't want to touch. We actually are going to really firmly connect to these props. So we'll take the block on the right side. Stand up nice and tall. Find your mountain pose. Feet maybe about hip distance apart. Pick up the toes and then suction down. Soften the knees a little bit. Zip the thighs together and roll the shoulders back. Pause in this mountain pose. It's an often overlooked posture, but it is a pose in its own right. I like to think about it as the potential energy of every other pose. We just have to think about it for a second. Visualize success. When you're ready, we're going to shift the weight into that left leg. Pick up the right leg. Tree pose is a hip opener first. We're going to open the right leg out to the side. If you have a block or a footstool or whatever you're using, textbook, we're going to snug it up really close so it's touching the other foot. Knee opens out to the side, toes come to rest on the block. The heel may touch. And notice how you're standing here. If we push into the block, that hip is going to rise up, our left hip. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to drive the weight into the block, squeeze the legs together. Hands can come to heart center. You've got two options. You can either lift and open up. If the shoulders feel crummy this morning, you can leave the arms down, squeeze the elbows towards the body, flip the palms up and open them out. You have this nice opening in the shoulders. Find your happy pose. Push into that right leg. That's what makes this one a little bit different from our traditional tree pose here. Can you find softness in the belly? Can you find a little drishti, a focal point to help you balance? Anytime you're ready to come out, we always do it with control. Right leg comes to the center, straighten the leg, and then put it down. And we'll shake it out. You can move your props over to the other side. Same footing, always building foundation for success. Pick up the toes, suction down, soften the knees, zip the thighs together, roll the shoulders back and pause. Think about what beautiful little tree you're going to be this morning. Ground down through the right side, pick up the left leg, open the knee out to the side. And then if you've got your little block, you can snug it up nice and close. Toes come to the block. Push into that block so that you feel the right thigh and the right hip squeeze up towards the body. Hug the pit of the belly in and up. Find your pose, whatever the full expression is for you today. It may be hands overhead. It may be arms out. Think about yourself like a little sunflower trying to collect sunshine on that chest. You want to lift the chest, push into that left foot, ground down through the right foot. Find that balance here. There's always movement, even in real trees. And thinking about the proprioception and our body in space, could you imagine opening that left knee behind you a little more? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe we just think about it. Anytime you're ready with control, left knee comes to the center, straighten the leg, step it down. You can wiggle it out a little bit, shake it from side to side. All right, I'm going to do it sideways just so you can see what we're doing here. Feet about hip distance apart. We're going to synchronize breath and movement. The hands are going to come down on either side, palms facing behind me. As I inhale, I'm going to slowly lift my arms and my heels up. And as I exhale, I'm going to slowly come down. So let's see if we could imagine inhaling about halfway and bringing the arms about halfway. And then exhaling back down. See if we could go maybe 3/4 of the way up on that inhale. Whoa. And then slowly come down. And move at your own pace here. Allow the rhythm to happen. Ultimately seeing if we can get the arms overhead, standing up on the tippy toes, and slowly controlling the descent down. And this is one we've talked about before. You could do it in the kitchen, standing there at the sink or standing at the counter with your hands down on the counter and just focusing on that heel lift. This is great for our ankles to have the control here. One last time, inhaling to lift and exhaling, come all the way down. And shake it out. All right, I'm going to come down to my knees just so you can see. Okay, arms out to the sides. Left arm, we're going to lift all the way up. Bend at the elbow and try to walk it down between the shoulder blades here. From the front, we can see that what I want to try and do here is wrap the armpit towards my face and hug this. So if my elbow is like out here, which it might be, that's okay. We can use the other hand to help get it in the appropriate place. Then with the right hand, I'm going to take this thumb down towards the earth, take it all the way down towards the floor, bend my elbow and try to walk it across the body. I'm not trying to get my hands to touch. Trying to breathe to lift that top elbow up and walk it down. And exhale, roll the right shoulder down and try to walk my hand across. I'm going to turn sideways to keep myself honest. Look what happens when we try to reach. My little belly's pooching out, right? That's not good. So hug the pit of the belly in and up, scoop the tailbone towards your heels. Focus on lifting through the top elbow, softening through the right shoulder. And then big windmill, unwind everything, shake it out. So that's the one that really, when we arch like this, because that's all ego, that's like, oh, I can do more, it's great. It totally ruins the entire posture. So we really have to make sure that we keep the belly in the right angle. Okay, so other side, when you're ready, right arm out to the side, lift it up, bend at the elbow, and try to walk between the shoulder blades. Just imagine there's like a little pesky something there that you want to touch. You can always take the elbow and hug it into the body a little bit. Left hand out to the side, thumb down, sweep towards the earth, bend, and walk it across the body wherever it is. Think about the elbows here and increasing the distance. Inhale, lift and reach through the right elbow. Exhale, soften the left shoulder and walk the hand across. Doesn't have to be extreme, but keep yourself honest. Hug the pit of the belly in and up and scoop the tailbone towards the heels. Oh yeah, that's it. And big windmill, unwind. Shake it out. All right, a little bit of warrior one. We'll step to the top of the mat one time each side. All right, so feet at the top of the mat. We're gonna take the left foot and step it back. The telling sign here for how far apart your feet should be is your hips. If you can take that left hip and roll it forward, then you know that you're fine, as long as you're still connected to the back foot. All right, so feet nice and far apart, right leg up front. We'll inhale the arms up. As we exhale, bend the right knee and double check you can still see your toes. We never want that knee way over. Make sure you're good. Hinge forward, lean. We want to reach from the fingertips down through that back heel. Let the arms come down and gently bring the thumbs to your shoulders. Hug the pit of the belly in and up, squeeze the thighs together. One more time, thumbs towards the shoulders. Arms come down, we'll sweep all the way up and step to the top of the mat. Shimmy, shake it out. Same thing, other side. We'll take the right leg, step it way back. Toes are dialed out a little bit. Roll that right hip forward. Pull the left hip back. Hug the pit of the belly in and up. Arms overhead as we inhale tall. As you exhale, test bend and make sure you can still see. I'm actually a little bit too wide. So it's always okay to adjust. You always want to get it right. Hinge forward, stay connected from the fingertips through that back leg. Allow the arms to come down. 3 little touches here, touching to the thumbs to the shoulders. And we'll sweep the arms overhead. Big step to the top. Shake it out. All right, a little bit of goddess work. Find the middle. We're going to step the feet really wide. Dial the toes out. Take a little test bend, same way that we do in our warrior postures. When we bend the knees, same thing we did in tree pose. We're thinking about opening the knees behind us. It's a subtle energy. Hands are going to come together in the front. Slowly sweep down on the inhale. And as we exhale, push back up. Inhale to sweep down. Exhale to push. One more. And then we're going to hang out in full goddess pose, hands towards the face, make little fists, super strong. Could we imagine putting elbows on our knees? And it's okay if you lower your arms. Then come back up, yes. Okay, could we lift a heel and put it down? Can we lift the other heel and put it down? Oh, some of you are already dancing, I love it. Yes, let the hands come down. Hands come to the thighs, let the chest drop forward, straighten the legs a little bit. Take a breath. It may feel nice here to drop the right shoulder down and look over the left. Remember not to push into the hands. We don't want to twist ourselves like a little dish rag. We just want to look over the shoulders, create a little bit of movement here. We'll come back to the center. Stand all the way up. One little Malasana prayer squat. We're going to move the feet in a little bit. Booty distance, they're still a little bit wider. Toes are still dialed out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, start to sink down. Hands come through heart center. If you need to do a little I Dream of Jeannie wiggle to get down there, that's okay. Settle in. Wrists come in line with elbows. Elbows push into the knees, knees squeeze back. Last part like little turtles, right? We reach out of that crown, up tall. Could you shift forward? Just subtly, not too much. Could we shift back? Maybe yes, maybe no. And then gently come on down. Doesn't have to be graceful. All the way out, shake it out. And we'll swivel around and take it down to the floor. When you get there, give yourself a minute. It's a transition. It's okay to take a minute and go, oh, the floor feels so nice. That's perfect. You can rock the hips out a little bit. Last little bit of tummy toning here. We're going to bend the knees, plant the feet, walk the soles of the feet, walk the inner edges of the feet together, and then lift the knees into the chest, flex the feet, and lift the toes over the knees. So you think about this like a reclined chair. We want that 90-degree angle behind the knees, and everything's pretty good. But we have to watch out for the belly again. So hug the pit of the belly in and up, scoop the tailbone towards your heels. Hands can come in front of the face, thumbs pointed towards the nose. Push the hands together, squeeze the legs together, and slowly see if you can move the knees towards the bottom of the mat. And then come back in. You don't have to do a lot here. There's a lot of engagement. Hug the pit of the belly in and up, scoop the tailbone towards those heels, flex the feet, slowly move the knees, and then come back in. That may be enough. You may want one more. It's up to you. Squeeze everything to the middle. Hands pushing, knees and thighs and feet squeezing, and then come back down. Stretch the left leg out. Hug the right knee in. We'll gently take the knee all the way across the body into a twist. Stack the hips on top of each other. Sweep the arms out wide, palms up to the sky. Anytime we twist like this, we tend to be really heavy on that left shoulder. It may be nice here to flip the left palm upside down like a little spider and walk away from the body to lift the shoulder up and gently put it down. It's the equivalent of subtly scooching the torso to the left. And then anything else you want. If you're honoring any crabbiness in the lower back, keep the knee level with the hip. If you want to take a bind, you can reach the right arm down and catch the foot perhaps. If you do that, move the bottom knee to the middle of the mat, hug the pit of the belly in and up, and scoop the tailbone towards the bottom knee. That helps make sure we're not stretching from the lower back. And another great option here is to take the left ear and the left cheek and drop it down to the earth, and take the right arm and sweep it along the earth behind you, like you're making a little snow angel. That can feel like a really nice stretch. So whatever your jam is for your twist, make it what you need. Soften where you can. Surrender to the mat. We'll slowly come back through the center. Right leg stretches out long, left knee hugs into the belly. And we always do right leg first and then left. Take the body, take that knee across the body, stack the hips on top of each other. So hips are facing the wall, chest is open to the sky. Sweep those arms out, palms up to the sky. Adjust the weight in the shoulders so you feel evenly weighted. And then add anything that you need here. Remember, the twist in and of itself is a posture. Anything else is just extra, but it doesn't have to be added. This is sufficient just to reach here, breathing along the body, reaching tall through the crown of the head, and using the exhale perhaps to simply soften the belly so that the top knee can float a little bit lower to the earth. Come back to the center. Take the arms out nice and wide, palms up to the sky. 2 hugs. You can reach the arms up in front, left arm on top, right arm on the bottom. And if you have it the other way, it doesn't matter. We're going to do both times. Reach the fingers underneath the shoulder blades. Tuck the chin a little bit. It may be nice to rock from side to side. Remember, you can bend the knees if you need to. I have my knees bent. And then we'll open the arms again. This time the other arm goes on the bottom, crisscross. Snug the fingers under the shoulder blades, tuck the chin a little bit, and rock. When you're ready, let the arms come down to rest. And decide if there's anything else that you need to complete your practice. And if there is, now is the perfect time to add it. And if all you need is Shavasana, then allow yourself to set up. It is like any other posture. You need to build your foundation for success. One of my favorites is to take a little blanket or a cushion or a pillow and put it directly under my knees. And then to also add yoga blocks or books for the heels. So think about them like little shoes. But this is a great one just to have a little support under the knees, and that lifting of the feet up takes some of the weight and strain out of the hips and the lower back. And you can certainly put your legs up the wall or any other posture that you need. It is a transition. Allow yourself to make that transition into a place of stillness, quieting the mind, bringing the awareness to the breath. And for the next few moments, focusing simply on the journey of the breath. As you inhale, feeling that lightness, the openness, the expansiveness on the front side of the body, and allowing the heaviness of each exhale to root you down into the earth, to nourish you, to replenish you. And in a few moments, I will ring my bell and invite you back. Start to invite your mind back to the space. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe reach overhead with a big sigh or yawn, full body stretch. Take note of the color of the light behind the eyelids before you pop them open. You can hug the knees into the chest and rock from side to side until you come to rest on one side. Give yourself an opportunity to pause there and thank yourself for your practice, for your time on your mat this morning, for yourself, for your community. When you're ready, you can press into a seated shape. Eyes can be open or closed. And we'll inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, palms to touch. And we'll bring them down to the forehead. May your mind be full of positivity and possibility into your lips. May your words be full of kindness and compassion into your heart center. May your heart be full of passion and purpose. Namaste. Thanks for being with me this morning. Hope everybody has a good day.